Hello, everybody. So, I welcome you to be here. I had some technical issues, sorry, and also the last time, so I'm really sorry for that it didn't work. So finally, I'm here, and we're going to start with the webinar. I'm going to share my screen now. I hope that will work also. Just a moment, checking if I have it open. This one. Okay, it's not working as I want. Another try. Yes. Okay, I hope you can all see my screen. This goes away. Voila. No. The topic of the meeting is including social and circular economy. We are all talking a lot of circular economy, which is really the future, because we are all consuming too much, and this linear system will not work much longer. So it is all about changing the mindset, because with circular economy, the positive things is, as a lot of you know, getting more out of your resources. It is a change. We can have a better production. We will eliminate all the toxic chemicals. And one of the important things is also to design for use and reuse. So it's a whole shift of a business model, which has to start at designing already, and which will eliminating a lot of waste and biodegradable fabrics and dyes and other finishings. But what about social? Because nobody is talking about social in this circular economy process. And also the SDGs, these are linked to social and economic growth, and we have to achieve. So of course, with this waste cycle, the take, make and dispose model, that is what I already said, what we have to change. And then there are all these environmental externalities we all have focus on. But in this system sits still, if we are able to change it, we still can have poverty, and that is something we have to try to phase out, because poverty is, as it's written on the slide, is an externally of the current linear model. Inequality, underemployment, which creates poverty. We all go for lower prices, which has an effect on the people which are working in the supply chain. So before diving deeper in the project, here are some examples, negative and positive examples. For example, the clothing recycling. A lot of big brands, also in fast fashion, are engaging customers to go into recycling, which is very good. We need to recycle clothing. However, today it is still difficult to use everything from a clothing. A lot is going into landfill, and after recycling, there is still a big percentage of the part of the clothing we cannot use. In Europe, the recycling companies are doing a very good job. They try to enter also the circular economy system, and they also try to find solutions to use the different parts of composition which you can find in the textile. But here you see some photos of how recycling is done. A lot of companies and brands are sending their clothes to be recycled or to be separated to India and Pakistan. And of course, a lot of companies there are following the ILO standards, but are we sure? If you see that women are sitting on the ground in a mass of clothing, trying to separate them by color, and they work for more than 12 hours a day, is that what we want to see in our circular economy system? Children also, what about children? Child labor. This is a very, very sensible topic already in the textile industry, but also here we see a lot of children working in this industry. And that is something which we don't hear. Nobody tells about this. So it's good to recycle, but what is the background of how it is selected and how we recycle? Also regarding better recycling, again, child labor, wages. So there is a very good initiative from the Mexico bottling and plastic industry. They launched a non-profit association, mainly also for Coca-Cola, because there was so much garbage of plastic and PET. And with this initiative, they were able to secure a domestic supply of PET by the waste pickers, because in this kind of countries there are waste pickers. They pick normally carton, but now they were paid to pick up PET. But how was it done? On the photo on the left, you see still a lot of children, and of course you cannot avoid it because these are street children. The good thing is in this initiative is that they also they helped the children to get some scholarship. So children were picking up waste, but they also got besides scholarship since these children were living on the street. So it has a very positive impact, but still it is very difficult to control, and what is it, how it is recycled, and what is the leftover and in what conditions. And there are a lot of questions. I don't have any answer on that, and I think nobody has, but it is something we all need to consider, and on a brand level, and it is very important to consider this and not only thinking about the circular economy and the designing and the recycle aspect. Another PET recycling initiative, this time from the Body Shop, because the Body Shop has a new packaging strategy. They are aiming to close the loop by integrating a minimum of 75 post-recycling plastic in its product line by 2020. Today it is 10, with a partnership with TerraCycle. So they're working with a recycle center in India where they give a proper wage. We don't really know what is a proper wage, but I hope that it is at least a minimum wage for the waste pickers. And here you have to know that waste pickers are normally in India from the lowest caste, and these people, they have no ID cards. So what is very interesting in this program is they were able to give these people an ID card, which helps them to get access to bank accounts, and then they can increase, because they get a salary, they can increase more and more their livelihood. But as it's stated by the Body Shop, of course, they are not able to do it on their own. And a lot of other brands also have to create a bigger market for fairly traded plastic. And that is a very good message. It is a collaboration between governmental projects and brand projects, but brands can do a lot. And the consumer also. The consumer can do a lot. By really being sure that to have an interest in how the recycling is done, and trying to get a voice, and also to follow brands who are doing it in a positive way. Of course, circular economy creates jobs. And following a very interesting research from the McKinsey company, They say that in circular economy, the benefits for the EU are expected to be almost 2 million new jobs. Okay, so and there will be also a lot of savings, because there will be it will be a different kind of job. So these 2 million new jobs will be part-time activities following McKinsey. But how will it be paid? Or will it be a full-time well-paid job, or a part-time peanuts job? That is something which you cannot know. So it's very, you know, there are, will it be in Europe? Will it be externally? So will these savings by creating new jobs in the circular economy, because we're reusing materials and we don't need to buy much more new materials, will these savings making the big bigger and the rich richer, or will it provide social benefits for the poorest part of the societies? Is the circular economy going to create a new local supply chain that will provide job opportunities and help communities to manage unemployment, or will it be realized by corporate robots? For example, I put a link in my on this page, which you can check the article, because there was a very good initiative from Adidas also to work more local and to reuse their yarn and to create garments by robots in factories in Germany. But finally they decided to relocate everything to a big factory in China. Why? That's the question. So in order to have a view on how people are paid, there are some organizations who are trying to address these. And these organizations are not only working on fair wear, but it could be an initiative also to include them into the circular industry. So you have Built Nest, which is an American organization. They created a self-assessment tool for home workers, because also in the circular economy, there are a lot of home workers who are doing partial jobs, and these people have no social security. Then you have the Fair Wear Foundation. There is also Fairtrade USA, who are already, while they work with the factory, they're developing a project for the factory workers to implement with the extra money they get other projects which are increasing the livelihood of the workers. And of course, Fairtrade Max Havelaar, and there are a lot others, which you probably know already. I also want to touch base on modern slavery, which we also hear more and more into the circular, but on a regular base, like, right, not only in the circular economy, but if we are not going to focus on this, this will continue. It is a result of the linear system, but it should be phased out in the circular economy, because these people, the modern slavery, are people, they have no voice. Home workers, or the so-called piece workers, they have no voice, they have no rights, no minimum wages, no social protection. And more than 46 million people are enslaved and trapped in these unacceptable conditions. Most are women. However, also men are working this, more in trade and repair services. And it's not only in Asia, it is also here. Have a look at the Global Slavery Index, and you can check by country. For example, here you see the statement of Italy, where in 2016 were 145,000 people living in conditions of modern slavery in Italy. So modern slavery, as a result of the linear system, you see that there are, that we need a mindset, okay? It has to be a business sense. So we want to create value in this circular economy. This is a a design from Alexander Lemille, who developed this idea and developed the circular economy 2.0, which include also poverty. And as you see it here, so not only the circular economy system as it is. So what we need to change, which is very important, is that brands, they really need to connect in a very, very transparent way with their supply chain, and not only the first tier, the manufacturing tier, but also everything which is behind tier 1, 2, 3. And they need to search, if they're not all able to do it on their own, they need to search and evaluate the wages of the persons who are paid. This is something which a factory manager or a manufacturer can show. And of course, collaboration with suppliers. It will not be easy to do it directly, but with a good discussion, and it is possible to develop an action plan. And something very important is also to develop technologies which cannot replace human manpower, but emphasize these. For example, what the Body Shop did with the waste packers. That is a very good example, because that is something which new technologies will never pick up waste from the streets or everything. On governments, I would say there has to be a tax change. And then the global question is, can we see greed, poverty, and inequalities disappearing of a poorly designed human system at the same time? That is a very global question we need to ask ourselves. So here, I will try to, because then you, voila. Which is also important, and not only at the start of the materials, is that if fair paid employees are fair paid, they can become your future customer in whatever industry. And here you see the tool for all the 70 SDGs in a different way, including the waste out pollution and the inequalities, poverty, and greed. So it is set up in another way, and still in a circular way, where all the SDGs are mentioned. And I personally believe that this is a very good way to position them in the circular economy, and how we can try to achieve our objectives, and not only to waste out pollution, but also poverty. So I don't know if there are any Q&A, but if there are, you can always send me a mail to this address, and I'm happy to discuss with you about different topics and exchange. And we can even start a discussion on the positive impact platform, where you can always send your questions. You can also enter there and start a discussion, and a lot of other consultants would be happy to answer you. So yeah, I hope this webinar, and I'm sure will give you some thought and will help also to have another idea of how, or start a discussion of how to phase out poverty in the circular economy. So I wish you a very good day and a good end of the week. Bye.